Today I'm having my calves, ankles, and knees done. I've thought about it for a long time, and I've always been very unhappy with my legs. I could never wear shoes that had straps on them because it made my feet and ankles look so fat. And I just was talking to some other girls, and they said now they have that procedure of lipo. You can have that done. So I'm very excited today to be able to see the results so I can start wearing fun shoes and feel sexy, and I'm just excited.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to dial in and outline exactly the surgical procedure that we're about to perform in removing some of the fat in key places, very key places, to accentuate the feminine figure, and mainly the lower legs, the calves and ankles and inner knees. I think with liposuction, these areas are often an afterthought or kind of left out when doctors approach the inner thighs or outer thighs. They're very tedious areas to do, and they dictate utilizing a lot of specialized surgical instruments and a lot of surgical precision. Very unforgiving, so it's important to do a lot of calves and ankles like we do here at Infinity Cosmetic Associates to ensure that we get those reproducible results. So now we're going to mark on the areas that bother her. And one of the big areas that I see that happens with a lot of women is that they'll start to accumulate this fat pad right through here. It's fat that accumulates in a very unflattering place, and it can, when people get fat in this particular area, you lose a lot of the definition in the upper leg. The upper leg should start to dip in here slowly, a natural curvature, but unfortunately a lot of people get socked in with a little fat pad. Very easy to remove this fat pad, and oftentimes I'll extend it upwards and include the fat pad along the inner knee. These are kind of my feather zones right here, and then these are my hard margins of the areas that I definitely want to be a little more aggressive reducing this down. So overall we give the lower leg a little bit more sculpted look right through here. As we come downward, when I look at the calves and the ankles from a frontal view, another area that happens typically, as you can see here, the lower leg starts to lose that slow tapering like we have here, and you actually get somewhat of a little pouch or a little bulge. So in essence, we lose the ankle with this little fat pad right here. So we have it on this side, maybe not to quite the same extent. And these are just my rough outlines that I'm doing so the camera can kind of visualize, but we'll go back and redo those a little bit better when we actually do the surgery. But then we kind of feather in and taper in to the calf. But again, as the leg comes down, we want to see a couple different dips. We don't want to see the leg be straight. We want to have a little bit of a dip right here, and again, a little bit of a dip right here. Very flattering for a feminine figure, especially when a woman is up on any bit of elevation with a 3-inch or a 6-inch heel. It certainly makes the legs look a little bit more appealing. The other thing that I want to do on her too is I want to feather out a little bit of the lateral or outer portion of the ankle right here. She doesn't have much of a fat pad extending right there, but the little bit that she does have will be accentuated if we leave it out in context of just doing the inside. So again, to simplify and reiterate, if we're doing the inside, it's my feeling that there could always be a little bit done on the outside to blend things in more appropriately. So in her case, these are the big areas. And these are the areas that we're going to approach today, the inner and outer ankles, and then the inner upper calf and the inner knee. Oftentimes, depending on the particular anatomy of a man or a woman, I'll approach doing the mid calves, the upper calves, and we look at the calves even from behind to determine if they need to be debulked or not. So there's a lot of different applications that liposuction can really make a tremendous difference when reshaping the lower leg region.